Charissa. We have Vanda Crossley. She is not only a dedicated realtor and mentor, but also a licensed Texas lender with Loan Factory, offering a unique advantage to home buyers and homeowners alike. With expertise in both real estate and financing, she helps clients navigate the home buying process with ease, whether they are purchasing, investing, or financing. And she can be reached at 773-678-1085. Janila Brown, she is the counselor realtor, guiding you home and healing you whole as a real estate entrepreneur powered by EXP Realty. She serves the community with a focus on residential buyers, veterans, and investors. Her mission is to educate, empower, and encourage those pursuing their real estate and wellness goals. Janila loves Jesus, family time, decorating, volunteer work, and good food. Follow her on Instagram at REWITHJANILAB or call her 281-215-3307.
Awesome. Wonderful. Thank you for that introduction. And yes, today we are talking about think energy. We're going to get to that in a moment, but for now, Vanda, please provide us with our market update.
Okay, so the market update as of today, the mortgage rates are around 6%. The median price in Houston is $335,000. The projected growth for the Houston area is 1.5 to 5% for the year, and it's anticipating about 30,900 new positions in the Houston area by the end of the year. And those are in the medical and guess what? The energy sector. How about that? Right on time. But buyers are weighing their options. They're taking their time. It's not the frenzy like it used to be where houses are gone in 3 days. People are, waiting. A lot of people can't afford to buy a house right now. The home prices have declined about 3%, but the rent have increased. There's a lot of co-housing projects and senior living. Trends that are emerging. One of them is Co-Housing Houston. That's a 33 unit on the east side of Houston. So things like that are coming. People are learning to live together because they can't afford to live by themselves. A lot of younger people are opting not to purchase homes. They want to be renters instead. But there still has to be landlords. So if you're an investor and you want to get a property, you can reach out to one of us and we can help you. And maybe we can help you get one of those co-living or co-housing communities together. So because we are in Houston, which is the energy mecca, I have the privilege of working with Dr. Rosalyn Belt. She is a native Houstonian. She Let's see. She has a collage of past activities and skills. She's a wife to Dr. Adrian Belt Sr. He's a musician, a recording engineer, videographer, web graphic designer, ordained ministry teacher, licensed insurance agent. This is what she does. Certified wellness coach and an energy advisor. A AI workshop trainer and an empowered speaker. And people thought I did a lot. Wow. She has two doctorates, a doctorate of theology and a doctorate in divinity. She's the founder and CEO of Dream to Life, LLC, and nonprofit where she educates and helps to bring dreams to life. So, without further ado, I'd like to present Dr. Ross.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Vanda. Thank you, ladies. It is such a pleasure. My goodness, I just feel like I'm in the midst of so much wealth and information here. Exciting.
You are, you are. Thank you, thank you. We appreciate that.
Yes.
So, tell us a little bit about why the energy sector is such a big thing here in Texas.
Yeah. Well, we produce 1/7 of the electricity in the whole United States. Okay. And here's the funny thing about what we do in Texas. We're our own, we do things big in Texas. Yeah. But we also got large bills in Texas. Part of what's so strange or different is that we have our own independent grid. Okay, and if anybody doesn't know what I mean by the grid, when you see the poles going up in the air and the wires going across the country, we're self-sufficient by ourselves, our own grid. We don't work that grid with anybody else. To compare, when you're talking about places like Illinois, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, there are 13 states, they do it together. So why do I bring that up? Because when there's a problem in one of those states, they get support from one of the other states. But in Texas, ERCOT is who manages our grid, and we're independent. So when we have a problem, we have a problem. And that's why our grid is so unstable. I was asking the other day, I'm seeing solar panels being put down on the ground. When you're driving down I-10, you drive down 290, and you see these solar farms. So I said, okay, well, why don't we have community solar for people? Well, those panels are for the grid. They're independent. They're just using it for themselves, not to help homeowners. So there lies another problem why we need to come up with solutions to be able to help the average owner. So that's why it's so important as it relates to energy here in Texas, because we're all by ourselves. The grids, these power plants were created hundreds of years ago. They haven't been updated. But guess what? Technology is constantly moving. And if you're like me, you're doing AI, you're doing all this kind of stuff. You're doing Chat GPT, you're doing Gemini, and guess what? All of that uses more energy than just a Google search.
I see. So how can we help homeowners to not use as much energy or not spend as much on their energy bill? Because we as realtors, we put them in a home, but we really don't talk about, well, is it energy efficient? What can you do so that you don't have to spend as much money on your electricity bill, because you still have to buy food and, water and things like that. So how can we help them not spend as much?
Well, it starts with education. So again, as I've heard all of you say, you pride yourselves in educating your clients, not just in selling them a house, but you're educating them on things they need to do. And a lot of times when it comes to our electricity, we don't educate ourselves. First and foremost, we just look at the bill and we pay it. So many people I talk to on a daily basis don't know what they're paying for. I say, well, what's your kilowatts? Oh, I don't know. I just paid $200 on the bill, $400 on the bill, $70 on the bill. Or at some time you say, well, I'm not paying that much, but not much for what? So first, it starts with educating a person, especially in Texas, to look at that bill and see, are you paying what you think you're paying? Because a lot of times they advertise a certain kilowatt, and then you look at the bill and you see, oh, what's this base charge? Oh, what's this delivery charge? Oh, what's this excess charge? Oh, what's this surcharge? Well, let's add all that up together. And now you find out what you're really paying. And now you're paying too much. Now, the beauty of what's Texas is that you can shop around. You have the choice because we are what's called deregulated. So we try to help homeowners know that means you do have a choice. But then when you make those choices, that choice needs to be where everything's included. That's the beauty of what we do here at Think Energy. We call it all in. That includes CenterPoint. If it's CenterPoint, if it's in the North Texas, that includes Encore. Those are the only two delivery choices pretty much. And if you go further, you got a New Mexico delivery thing. But basically, those are the main two that deliver your electricity. Now, we choose who our supplier is. And so that's why I'm excited to be here with you guys, because you are the first persons working with that homeowner. And now you have developed a relationship with them through the process. Now they trust you. So at least you can be able to guide them. No, they don't have to choose this one or the other. But if you believe in something, you can say, okay, here are some choices, just like you'd say for water, just like you'd say for anything else, any other utility service they would need. But they need to be informed on how to choose. And you want to have somebody that does it all in. And that's what we do here at Think Energy.
Okay, thank you. There are some that advertise free nights, free weekends. And I was one of those that had that. And it wasn't until I met you and analyzed my bill and realized I was paying like 22 something per kilowatt
Right.
because I was getting nights and weekends free, but I was paying still too much for it. And since I've switched over personally, I've saved over 100 and something dollars a month, each and every month.
Amazing, amazing. And so here's the beauty. Here's the thing about the nights. Okay, that those are marketing tactics, right? Yep. Nights, weekends free. Well, guess what? That's when electricity is cheap. So did they really give you anything? I mean, it's like I'm a licensed insurance agent. I tell my Medicare clients, "Oh yeah, Part A is free." Free? It's not free. You've been paying for it for 40 years out of your check.
Mm.
Okay, they ought to give it to you. Ought to give you Part B free, but the thing is, nights are when electricity is the least expensive. So you're paying that 22, that 24, whatever it is in the daytime when your refrigerator is still running all day long. Let's think about the stuff that doesn't just run at night. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. So you're going to do the dishwasher at night because of that reason. But you can't, the refrigerator is one of the largest pulling things for electricity.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we've got to be understanding that what they're telling us is just a marketing tool to get you to go with that particular company or this particular company when you really need to take an inventory. And it's on your bill. It's hidden, but it's not hidden. There's a line that says the average cost. I challenge you to look at your bill and look for that line that says, what is the average price you paid during this month? Don't look at that energy charge that says 7 cents. Don't look at that energy charge that says 12 cents. No, look for that line that says the average amount. And when that amount says 19 or 21, that's what you're paying.
Got it. Got it. So for people that have solar on their home right now, what advice would you give them, or what are some talking points that we can talk to them about with solar?
Solar is not only the future, solar is here. Solar is what is one of the most advantageous things for people to be able to get at this time. It's a great advantage if you're able to qualify. There's the key. If you're able to qualify. There are more people that don't qualify for solar because it does give you the discounts. It's a no-brainer. You're going to get some kind of discounts if you've got a reputable company that's giving you the solar panels. But here's the thing. You got to pay for the panels. You usually have to have a certain credit score. It's usually like 650 or above. You got to have a certain credit score. You got to have the right kind of roof. I've known people, they get a quote and they've got to get a new roof because if you've been living in your house 20, 30 years, they want you to get a new roof. So they include that inside the quote. I knew one lady who had a beautiful, beautiful home, but had too many trees covering the roof. So it was blocking the sun and, all of that. So solar is great. It's just the rooftop solar is great. Now, we have certain places in other parts of the country, not Texas, that allow people to get community solar. That's why I was talking about that earlier. We don't have that here in Texas yet. There's no reason for us not to get it. When is it going to happen? I don't have a clue. But we've got the farms. We've got to stop being selfish with the grid and want it just for the grid and want it for the homeowners, because that's who needs the savings. So with Think Energy, we have some other things that we've made available for that person who does not qualify for the solar panels. And that's where we work with people with their thermostat. You want me to go into that?
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay. So the thermostat, now we think about a thermostat as what? To make us cooler or warm up and that kind of thing. But let's go back to ERCOT. Every day, it could be for 5 minutes, 15 minutes when the high demand is up and everybody's running the air condition or everybody's running the heater. ERCOT will send spikes to your home. You don't know it. It's just raising up your rate. And it might just be for a minute. It might be for 5 minutes. It might be for 15 minutes. Think Energy has proprietary technology that connects with your thermostat. And it's got to be certain thermostats. There's 3 different ones, Honeywell, Ecobee, and Residio. But it says to the thermostat, there's a spike coming. Because we have that information in our proprietary, we call it proton technology. There's a spike coming. And all of a sudden, your thermostat goes up 2 to 4 degrees, up or down, to miss the spike. Now, what that does for the homeowner, it causes them not to get the high rate when it happens. So they miss that rate change. In the middle of the day, it can happen anytime. Because they miss it, they get a lower rate because we're connected. And they get a discount. I've got it in my home. Every month, I get an additional $10 credit on my bill just because I have the smart thermostat connected to Think Energy's proprietary technology. That's the first way we do it. The second way we do it, and we're real excited about this, is we have a battery that's going to be installed in people's homes for free. Now, everybody's starting to talk about batteries, okay? Now, if you've got solar, you may already have a battery. So we're not talking about the people who already have solar. But I'm talking about all the thousands of people who did not qualify. Matter of fact, if you're listening to me and you are a solar person that you installed or you got a solar company, you go through hundreds of people that don't qualify. But what could you do for that person who doesn't qualify? When you all do the homes and you finally get this person and they're excited because they got their home for the very first time. Oh my God. Well, now we can get them a free battery, a 30 to 40,000 battery. They do have to qualify for it because they still got to have a certain credit score and they do have to be homeowners. You know, they're paying, they can't be leasing is what I'm saying. You've sold them a home, so they're a homeowner. But this battery, watch this. When that spike comes, the battery says this is the high season or the high period of when energy prices are up. So the battery kicks in and runs the home. Homeowner doesn't know any difference. Lights didn't flicker, nothing happened. 5 minutes later, 15 minutes later, 40 minutes later, when the wattage went down, you're back on the grid. Now, at night, the battery's charging because what did I say about nighttime? It's the right time, right? That's when the electricity is down. So now the battery charges back up. And then there's some excess charge in the battery. What does Think Energy do with that? Sell some of that electricity to the grid. So we're helping to stabilize a grid that here in Texas has proven to us that it's not a good grid because I was a recipient of the Texas freeze. You know, we got a name for it now. Yeah. We were gone from home. We were out of town, came back, house was flooded because the pipes burst because we had below temperature weather, below freezing weather for 3 days in a row. Chicago's looking at me like, huh? Duh? What do y'all mean?
Texas homes were not built for the cold.
Not built for the cold. And the grid was not built for the cold. So there was a big to-do here in the city. Let's put up some more poles. Let's do this. All this stuff we've been putting off, let's try to do it. That's not the solution. So homeowners have got to have their own solution. And that's why this battery is going to be so powerful because it's going to position us. If a whole community had these batteries, basically it's going to be like a virtual power plant. And we're no longer dependent on just the grid alone. You're going back and forth. And then, like I said, we're able to assist the grid. That's why people say, well, how are you going to give me a free battery? you don't own the battery. Okay. You have the battery for 5 years, then you can put it on a 15-year contract where you have that battery. It's to the outside of your house. We're talking about a big, huge battery, not no little bitty battery, because it's got to run your whole house. But the fact is, we can do it for free because we're benefiting on selling back some electricity to the grid. So it's a win-win-win. It's a win for the homeowner, because when they get the battery through Think Energy, now you got to have one of our services to get the battery. But when they get the battery, it's a win-win for them because they get a special rate. They get a special rate on their electricity now. So where they might have been getting 16, because they get the battery, maybe it's 14. Don't quote me on the number, but once we release that, we're releasing it in March, near the end of March, but we're qualifying people now. People are starting to get one of the services, getting the thermostat service put in, just getting the regular service put in, because all of it's going to work congruently together. So it's going to be amazing. And people are going to see their bills, like you said, with your bill, you've seen the savings already, and it's going to take it to a whole nother level. We've got to do things that we can have better savings ourselves. We got to take control of our own stuff.
Thank you. Thank you. And as a realtor, and we are helping people, this kind of will set us apart from a realtor who doesn't talk about energy and how they can save money and how they can help the grid out. So I appreciate that. Do you ladies have any questions for Dr. Ross?
First of all, really good information. I'm over here learning to look at the line that says daily average, because I would have told you that I have a good rate per kilowatt hour, and I do not, because I saw my 19. So thank you for checking me and get me together.
Okay.
So I know what I'm looking for. But this is right. We're all about education, right? And understanding how we're being impacted, right? All the components. So I appreciate you sharing that information. Um, I did want to mention, I have a question, but I did want to mention, you mentioned the storm of 2021. Please know that there is a Harris County program that will allow you to file for either reimbursement or to recoup the cost from damages to your home with Hurricane Uri. It is a hurricane uh, Storm Uri HBAP2 that will allow you to, again, file claims. So if you were impacted during that time, whether pipes burst, whatever, if hopefully you kept your receipts. If you have your receipts, you will be able to submit an application for reimbursement for that. So I did want to mention that. If you need more information, you can go to the Harris County tx.gov, and they will have more information, or reach out to me and I would be more than happy to get you in the right direction and get you to that application. Okay. So you can get some money back, right? They owe
Absolutely.
us.
Yes,
Owe
indeed.
us.
Love it.
Okay.
Love it.
Um, but so that was I want to make sure I mentioned that. But just in case, so with this, and I want to understand Think Energy. So Think Energy is like, currently I'm with Direct Energy, right? And there's Reliance out there, there's TXU, all the providers, right? Think Energy is a provider of electricity services, and we can purchase those services like we would choose any other Ambit Energy, whomever, right? We're choosing Think Energy, and then we're saying, okay, I want more benefits. I want to get a reduced rate. I want to save. So I'm going to look at getting first of all, my smart thermostat. And then I get that smart thermostat with the proprietary technology, right? And that communication. So I'm avoiding those spikes. And then once I have that, come March, I'm going to be able to take advantage of this battery that is essentially going to provide similar benefits to what people have put solar panels on their roof for. I'm going to have a battery on the side of my house that's going to provide those similar benefits. Did I get
Similar
that right?
benefits. The only thing, it doesn't give you from the sun. It's not a solar battery. Okay, so it's providing you with, it does two things. It's providing you with backup. So if you lose electricity, it kicks in, just like if you had a generator. Okay, and even if you have a generator, you can connect it to the battery to charge it back up and not have to charge it back up at night when electricity is low. So it serves in dual purpose. It's a backup. It helps us miss those surges as well, and it intensifies and supports the grid. So it's threefold things that it does. But it definitely gives you the backup that we need. Everybody else's lights will be off and yours won't.
Love it, love it,
Yeah.
love it, love it.
And then just
And you
one
said that.
other thing I want to clarify. The technical term for what Think Energy is and TXU and Ambit is that we are the supply companies.
Supply company. See, Dr. Roz, see, just getting people together. That's all we need. That's all we need.
Yep.
Supply company.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha. So so Centerpoint and Encore, if you're in North Texas, are the
Delivery.
deliverers.
Yep.
Think Energy is the supplier.
Right. And all those other
Gotcha.
choices. We got 125 different choices in Texas.
Oh, goodness. And but here's the thing, they're all pulling from the same source.
That's right. That's
From the
right.
same source,
And
right?
that's the
And
source that
so,
everybody complains about. Everybody's complaining about that source. They're complaining about, look at this 100. I have a pastor that's in North Texas. He only uses, it's just a small church. He goes to that church just only on Sundays. Uses about 88 kilowatts on a Sunday. And it said, I think he said $88. His delivery charge was $300.
What?
that's
So much so when I
ridiculous.
told him that we include everything all in, he said, I just can't believe it. He said we've had churches that had to shut down. This was in like the Nacogdoches area. They had to shut down because they couldn't afford to pay the light bill because of the delivery charges. And because they're not using much kilowatts, they're charging them more per kilowatt. Because usually when you look at your bills, you'll see it'll say, we'll give you this 17 cents or 14 cents if you do 2,000 kilowatts. Now, if you do 1,500, okay, now you're going to pay 18 cents. If you got just an apartment and you're only doing 800, they're raising it even more. So you got to pay attention to all of that.
What I found interesting is I had a house that I had flipped in closer to city of Houston, inner city of Houston, right? And their delivery charge was higher than mine, which is outside of the Houston city limits,
Mm-hmm.
right? So my charge was lower than what they are closer in to the actual city. And I found that very interesting. So it is, in all things, we have to be educated consumers. We've
Right.
got to read our bills. It's cool to say, okay, like I'm just going to pay whatever comes, right? Because I have to pay it.
Yeah.
Yes, you do have to pay it. Some way you're going to have to pay for something, but do you have to pay so much, right? Let's save some money, put some money back in our pockets so that we can be able to have the things that we want, and also it makes affordability much more achievable when you're purchasing a home, because those things are in consideration. You think about your utilities, you think about that monthly bill is not just the mortgage payment, right? Property taxes, homeowners insurance. And it's a savings to your homeowner's insurance as well when you have these energy efficient benefits.
Right.
Because
And that's
they're
the way it's
looking at
going to
that.
And that's the way it's going to be for that battery when it's attached to your home. That's going to be a definite benefit. But here's what we've got to understand. Regardless of what you're paying right now, it's going to get worse because of AI. Because everybody's using AI. If you're not using it, you're going backwards. You're going to either learn to use AI or you're going to get left behind. Some form of AI. And we're all using it even in things that we don't even recognize we're using it in. Okay? Because those searches are taking place and it takes 10 times more electricity, sometimes 100 times more electricity to do those AI searches. And they're getting ready to build data centers all over Texas. And those data centers are getting ready to pull more electricity. So much so, Google is going to spend trillions of dollars just to build an infrastructure of solar panels in the sky. And a solar system in the sky. Why? Because that's the closest place to the sun. But if they're going to spend trillions of dollars to do that, because our grid can't handle it, what does that say? Then we've got to recognize it's going to pull from the grid, which is going to affect the homeowner. It's going to affect the consumer in the area of their bill. So we've got to put things in place like our battery, and there are batteries out there. Don't misunderstand me. We've got a battery with EcoFlow. You can do the research. But the thing is, you can go to Home Depot and Lowe's and Costco's and different places and buy these batteries at $30,000, $40,000. You can't get it for free. And we're going to make sure that homeowner has it for free because we're putting together an ecosystem. That infrastructure is going to cause homeowners and communities to completely benefit, and that's why we can do it.
I love that. I love that. And a couple of things that you mentioned was the refrigerator that you mentioned earlier that's on all day, sucking up the most energy, has AI technology. If you have a smart refrigerator and you needed to tell you what's in your refrigerator, that's AI pulling from it, right?
Siri, you know.
All of it. Alexa, all of it.
Come on now, we love it.
Yeah. We like to stay connected. And but the data centers, I'm so glad you brought that up. The data centers, talk to us a little bit more about the gravity of the impact that these data centers are going to have. Because while they're bringing jobs and everybody's kind of excited about them, let's talk about it from the homeowner perspective. How are those data centers going to impact us truly?
Well, when you understand what a data center really is, you understand every time we talk to Siri, every time we talk to Alexa, it's going through a data center to get us those solutions. It's in minute seconds. You're getting the answer back fast. I mean, I used to use Google all the time. Now, ChatGPT, my husband want to know who am I married to? Because me and Chat got a relationship. Chat walks me through cooking. Chat walks me through all kind of stuff, right? And so because that is happening, we don't think about how is that happening. And these are huge data centers. We're talking about miles and miles, and we're talking about 10, 20 football fields size of this is connectivity that's taking place. And it's using energy. It's using electricity to do it. So if it's going to use electricity and our grid is already struggling, then the only way that they can do it is that they got to raise the prices. And that's how we are affected by it. So we need something to be a guard at the door. That's what that thermostat does when we connect it to our proton technology. It acts like a guard at the door, say, uh-oh, they finna hit us. Boom. Nope, they're not going to hit this house. Kind of like blood on the doorpost.
That's my language. I know that language. Yes.
Absolutely. Yes, pass on over. Just pass on over. That's right.
I love it. I love it. So my son actually works with he works for a company that provides the maintenance and repairs for the generators that run the data centers. Just understanding that component. So when Vanda was kind of sharing about it, she was like, yeah, I want to speak to your son. I was like, for what? Like, but now I understand the level of impact that these data centers are going to have, because if they're running off of generators, right, that are pulling from the grid, that's substantial. Yes. And to be able to provide that while everybody's frenzied over the Chat GPT, using all of the services, because that's the marketing way, right? In all aspects of business, we're taught, look it up on ChatGPT. Ask ChatGPT this. Create your character on ChatGPT. Have it edit your photos. Have it be your VA. Continue to talk to ChatGPT. Why is the big push?
Right.
Because it's emphasizing the need for the data centers.
Right.
And if we don't have ChatGPT, right, the moment ChatGPT is not accessible, it's going to cause a collapse of people that are going to be in a frenzy. Like, what do you mean I don't have service? Like when Verizon went out a couple of months, last month,
Right.
Verizon was down for the day,
Yeah.
right? That had a great impact to people. And so, um, it's good to be in a position where you can live without AI and understand it and do it, but that's what the push is, right?
Yeah.
They get you addicted to it, and then they feed you something that has to service it and supply it to keep it running, to keep giving you more and more.
Yeah,
So I
once we
love
get
it.
used
I
to
love it.
something, once we get used to something that makes us comfortable and makes it convenient. I mean, I've lived through, I'm 65, so I remember when we didn't have cell phones. I remember I used to have to stop on the side of the road and go to the payphone. Okay. You tell somebody now, what's a payphone? Okay. What's a pager?
Hmm.
Okay. So we've gotten dependent. Now you'll turn back around if you left your cell phone somewhere.
Hmm.
So
Because you can't find your way anywhere. You don't know how to drive to places without your
yeah,
cell
we go to the
phone.
same place all the time. My husband still cuts the GPS home. Don't we know how to go there? Okay.
We gotta
So
analyze traffic.
yeah, yeah. We're just doing things that we're
Hmm.
accustomed to doing, and we get used to doing it. So that's why, like you say, when the internet goes down, we're in a frenzy. Oh my God. And so now Chat GPT, not just chat, I do workshops myself where I teach people Gamma. Gamma helps you do a PowerPoint that it used to take me 3 hours to do it. I can do it in 15 minutes.
All right.
But see, all of
Hmm.
those are wonderful things for us to have, but just understand behind the scenes, it's
Right.
going to put a strain on our grid and cause our bills to go higher. And it's up to us to take control. Like I tell people, take control of your health and take control of your own spending, take control of your savings. Savings is just saving. People, well, that's just 10 cents, that's just $10. Savings is saving. Add it up. That
Oh
$10
my
credit
God.
I get every month is $120 at the end of the year.
Good part.
Yeah.
That part. Very good. Very good. Well, that's all my input and questions. Thank you so much. Anyone else have anything to ask?
Well, I wanted to ask you about your experience with solar on your personal home.
So yeah, it's been interesting. I think we definitely got into it prematurely, without understanding, and I think that we probably have realized some savings over time. The issue is, so like the bill that you saw, right? Great bill, $55 and some change, right? But that bill is, I'm still paying for panels, right? And so compared to when you add that together, compared to what I was paying prior to the solar panels, I wasn't paying that much in a month for my electricity. And, we don't use a lot of electricity, and that's probably where they get us with that rate because we don't use a lot of electricity. And so, um, in that regard, we are paying a higher rate. So that average does tend to run higher. Um, and even though we have a low cents per kilowatt hour just as a base charge or energy charge, but our average tends to run higher just because we're not meeting the over 2,000
Mm-hmm.
kilowatts per hour, right? And so the experience with solar hasn't been horrible. It's just really paying for the panels that is the impact, um, and being able to have the battery. The company that provided us with the panels, okay, was one company. They have since gone out of business. The company that provided the loan for the panels, of course, they're still open. And so, we still got to pay for the panels. So we're just looking at other options and how to alleviate that. We're going to need a new roof soon. And so it hasn't been a horrible experience, but I will say that paying for the panels and not just realizing the savings of the energy um, has made it not as cost effective as we initially thought it was going to be.
And you brought up a good point, because sometimes people are concerned about, is a company going to be reputable? Are they going to hang around? And you've got companies that come and go. One of the good things about Think Energy is that our CEO has a reputation in the industry, had built other companies, but what's even more important, Oak Tree Capital gave him $100 million to buy, well, he chose to buy Think Energy. But when somebody can give you $100 million, number one, they trust you. Because I don't have many folk I can call right. Oh, okay, Vanda, I'm gonna call you. I need $1,000. I don't have a long
100 million, just $1,000.
Yeah.
Just 1,000. They gave this man $100 million. Now that says you're qualified to be able to get the job done, because nobody does that. And it's 170 Oak Tree Capital. We're talking about $170 billion hedge fund, that can do this, for him to be able to go do it. So he bought Think Energy and then changed the name, not changed the name, but restructured the company, because they were a 1-point rating. So in 2022, if you study and research it, if it's anything before 2022, it's not us.
Got it. Okay, so I'm not crazy because I thought I had seen Think Energy before, and I was like, but I don't feel like this is that. Like the advertisement of what I was going to get from Think Energy was different.
Right.
And so, okay,
Yeah.
I'm not crazy. Thank
No,
you.
you're not. No, you've done your research. You understand. And people will do that and they'll say, no, that company didn't do this because they had a 1-point rating. So they were terrible. Okay. And the reason people say, well, why would he spend that to even go get a company like that? Because they already had licenses in about 14 states. So we currently have licenses in like 17 states. So not only are we in Texas, but we're also in Illinois, we're also in Pennsylvania and Ohio and DC and just a bunch of other states, Colorado and New York and Maine. And sometimes we have different services in each of those states. Some services we have community solar, some services we have auto save, but it's all about helping people save. And here's the key. It doesn't cost them anything. So when you've worked with that homeowner, now they're there and they're thinking about all these other things they got to do. They got to get furniture, they got to get this, they got to get that. And to get the electricity doesn't cost them anything, unless they may have to pay a deposit. Sometimes they do because they don't have a history. If they don't have a history of paying their bills, then sometimes they have a deposit they got to pay. And that's sometimes for a new homeowner when they don't have a history. And that deposit doesn't come from us. It comes from, it comes from the Energy Commission. So, but I wouldn't, when I say no charge, it doesn't cost them anything to get our services.
Okay. Wonderful, wonderful. All right, ladies. Anything else?
No, but this has been very educational and helpful because, just trying to understand how all the grids, the solar panels especially work, and just trying to, like I said, to educate the people of what those panels are really doing for them, because I just felt like either we don't know or they're not doing what they say they're going to do, because you don't see as many of them on the roofs, or maybe to a place one day they won't have to be on the roof. But
right. And they don't have to be on the roof. That's the difference in a farm and the rooftop solar. Because the farm, they're on the ground somewhere else, way across town, way miles away, and you're just subscribing to a panel from the farm, and it goes from the farm to the grid, from the grid to your house, and on your house you get credits. I'm saying all that. That's not functioning in Texas, though, right now.
Yeah.
But that will be on the way when they stop being selfish with the grid.
Yeah.
Right, because like you said,
in Oklahoma.
Because that's how we can say, Texas, we have a problem. It ain't just us, it's the whole state of Texas.
That's right. Yeah.
And it will get there. Like I said, that would be wonderful. Just like they talk about the generators. Some home builders are now making generators a part of their package. It would be great to have those solar panels as well, because it takes some education and having your subdivision run by that.
And that's what's going to help with the battery. See, if a homeowner,
yes, it does.
If a homeowner gets our battery and they move, the battery doesn't go with them. The battery is attached to the home. So now you as a realtor are able to give more credence to that home because it's already got a battery attached to it, to save them more energy and to give them an automatic backup.
Julie, the only thing that comes with is if a person is still paying on that battery.
No, the battery's free.
Oh, the battery's free for the homeowners. Okay, I got it. It's not like a solar panel now where they are.
No. Yeah, the battery's free. The only caveat is that they still have to qualify for the battery as far as credit score and things like that and usage. Okay. But when they come to that home with a battery already attached to it, I don't know if that adds to y'all's price or whatever. But it's going to be a benefit to the homeowner for sure.
Absolutely.
I do make a habit of saying if it comes with a Generac battery or home generator, I do say that. So I think that is a benefit that people like.
Yeah.
I would agree. Now, does this work? Are we talking just new construction homes, or this is working for resale homes of, homes 1980s, 1970s, 1920s, because we're in Houston, we could have those too.
Yeah. So right now, this is for people that are already in a home, homeowners.
Okay.
So it could be a new home or an existing home.
Yeah, the year of the home doesn't matter, but they're not necessarily putting them on construction yet.
Got it. Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. Wonderful. Well, this is great information. And we do have our resources here through Dr. Roz and through Vanda. They are both a part of Think Energy. And so reach out to them with any questions or concerns, or to find out how you can get a part of the program to get a battery, get your smart thermostat with Think Energy's proprietary technology, and start taking advantage of the savings. Dr. Ross, how can we reach out to you?
My number is 832-297-3457. And make sure if you reach out to me, you let me know you heard about it on this platform.
Right. Yes. Mention Ask the Experts.
That's right. Mention Ask the Experts. And even if there are other realtors that are watching, gaining this knowledge that I'm sure you all have exposure to, it gives you an additional stream of income because you are sitting there talking to those homeowners. So you can actually be in a position before you shut it down, you're walking out the door, hey, here's an additional information that I can leave with you guys for here's an energy company. And why does that bless you? Because now it gives you an additional stream of income, because now you've gotten your commission from selling the home, but now you're going to get a residual income every time they pay the light bill. Just saying.
Dr. Roz, I got you. Message received. Message received. So wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So yes, if you are, as Dr. Roz said, if you are a realtor, real estate professional, looking to connect and build your residual income and have a bit of passive income on the side, you do have to work it. Okay. Like anything, we never promote like, okay, we just gonna get rich quick and it's just gonna start coming in and you're not gonna do nothing. You do have to work it. Okay. You have to advertise it. All right. But this is a great way to add additional services to something that you're already doing, right? Conversations that you're already having. Okay. So again, if you want to get connected in that capacity, reach out to Vanda or Dr. Roz, and they would be happy to get you started and get you going. Thank you for joining us today. We are going to go through our properties and our listings, but thank you so much, Dr. Ross, for joining us. We do have some listings available. So, Charissa, I'm going to let you get started with what you got.
Okay, I have 9502 Irby Street. That's 77088 in Acres Home or Highland Heights area. I have that home available as well as 2 additional vacant lots beside it. They can be sold separately or they can be sold independently. And I have a lease at 6511 Winlock that is on the southeast part of town, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, listed for $2,000. Thank you, Janila.
Awesome. Thank you, Charissa. And Vanda?
I have 14206 Windy Ridge in Rosharon. It's listed for 310. It's a 4-bedroom, 2-story home with a detached garage with a deep driveway, beautiful backyard for a garden or for playing and cooking out. And it's, what else can I say? It's for sale.
That's only 10. That's a good price. I heard 4-bedroom, 2 bath. Y'all should jump
Yep,
on that in Rose Sharon. Take
Rosharon.
advantage. Absolutely wonderful, wonderful. And then I have my listing in Richmond, Texas, 7814 Talladega Springs Lane. It is a beautiful, cute little 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home with a renovated kitchen that is gorgeous. It has the trash can drawer, the microwave down below, of course, countertops. It has the sink that's a workstation. Super cute, y'all. I will be hosting an open house this weekend. So yeah, definitely check that out. And that is all the listings that I have. Um, got a couple coming soon, so stay tuned for those. But thank you again for joining us. Please don't hesitate to reach out. We are happy to assist you in all real estate needs. We are real estate entrepreneurs looking to educate and empower you to make wise decisions in real estate. This is another session of Ask the Experts. Tune in every second Wednesday of the month to catch us for more topics in real estate and how we can answer your questions and help you along your journey. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.